Could we have a typhoon in mid-December? That's been the big question. Right now, we are watching an area towards the south and east of Guam for potential development. I'm meteorologist Robert Spetta. Let's break down what that area means for our extended forecast and, of course, our near-term forecast out here in the Western Pacific, specifically around the Philippines, over towards Vietnam and to Malaysia, where you have been getting some flooding rains recently, all thanks to our shear line, which has been set up here, extending from south of Japan across Luzon and into southern Vietnam and into Malaysia. But also, like I said, we have this area off towards the east. So let's talk about this. Well, first off, the shear line is the more important issue at this moment. Still bringing heavy rainfall for northeastern Luzon. This after it brought flooding rains across southeastern areas of Luzon over towards northern Visayas. Remember, this is that interaction with the northeast monsoon and our tropical air down towards the south. You see here by Saturday into Sunday, you got a kind of a low trying to develop here. I'm more concerned about the secondary one behind it, though, just south of Guam here, that could be arriving into the Philippines by the 10th. So yeah, still about a week out, but something to watch out for. Here's a look at that rainfall forecast, though, for northeastern areas of Luzon. This was talking about 300 plus parts of the Cagayan area, basically from Santa Ana, Apari, but even still northern areas of the Cagayan Valley could be looking at some additional rainfall the next few days. Once you start to get down towards places like Isabela and into the Magat area, for example, a lot less rainfall. So let's look at the Futurecast here using the ECMWF model, kind of giving you an idea what I was talking about with that long range outlook, because of course we're watching these areas towards the south of Guam, and at this time this particular model kind of trying to pick up on two separate areas. First, the one being a lot weaker and potentially impacting the east coast of Mindanao as we go ahead into the weekend, mainly into early next week. But then we also have the secondary one potentially developing. That would actually be more of an early next week type setup. The point is, I mean, we can take a look at somewhere out here between the 6th and the 11th. I do think somewhere in the Philippine Sea, south of Guam, we're at least going to get a low pressure area developing. Does that mean a full-on typhoon? Probably not. It's one of those things I wouldn't take completely off the table, mainly because we have very warm sea surface temperatures in this neck of the woods that is conducive for additional tropical development. But things working against it would definitely be the increase in the wind shear, thus the shear line that's impacting the Philippines. So, there's a couple areas we're watching here for that development, but this is just showing you the 11th to the 17th. The East Climate Prediction Center still saying an above average chance of development. And you take a look here at the GFS using tropical tidbits, and this is actually showing you the time right in here. So here we go, the 6th over towards the 7th. Okay, so you get that first low that kind of develops, it fades out, but it enhances that shear line, the monsoon. And then by the 10th into the 11th, so Tuesday and the Wednesday, the GFS showing something like a 990 millibar low over Mindanao. Now, in that particular scenario, 990 would be more of a tropical storm. Then we can take a look at the ECMWF, which it says the data is not available. So let's look at an earlier model of the ECMWF. And this is indicating the 10th into the 11th with not really even a closed off low, but it does show something in there very, very weak. Mainly the interaction with the said shear line set up right like that. You get the easterlies, and at the very least, we could be looking at another setup like we just seen here over the past, 5 or about 3 to 4 days, where we had heavy rainfall across southeastern areas of Luzon, Leyte, Samar, flooding rains into Legazpi over towards Catanduanes. It could be almost a repeat of that if the cards kind of fall in play just right. The point is, yeah, mid part of next week, definitely an increase in rainfall. Here's a look at the ECMWF SpaghettiOs on the 10th to the 12th, kind of showing plenty of circles just offshore. If you watch my updates, you know what I'm talking about with the SpaghettiOs. That is basically the long-range guidance, all the different ensemble members almost agreeing that something could develop. It's versus, a high amount of uncertainty. It's an increasing in uncertainty within the weather model. One thing as meteorologists, we try not to look just at one particular operational model like you see here. We try to look at some of those guidances and see the differences. So that's why, in this update, I'm saying possible low. That's what the title is, because of that risk of that long range ensemble kind of coming together. So yeah, Point is, mid next week, an increase in rainfall. For today and heading into tomorrow, still the heaviest place in the Philippines is northeastern Luzon with heavy precip there across parts of Cagayan, maybe northern areas of Isabela, all thanks to our shear line, which continues to dominate the forecast here. But of course, we're always keeping an eye on the tropics off towards the east. All right, big thanks. Don't go anywhere just yet. I got a new graphic I want to share with you guys. But big thanks for everybody on Patreon who continued to support this channel. We actually just did a breezy banter, my wife and I, and please do check that out. It is answering some of our Patreon questions as well as some of your viewer questions on Facebook. But if you're a Patreon member, you get first dibs in line for the question and answer on that. So yeah. But you help keep these updates going. So a huge thanks to all our Patreon members. Taking a look at the graphic for waves. So yeah, this is just showing you those swells coming in from the north, definitely picking up as we go ahead over towards the weekend. This is a new one I'm working on. I want to try to fade the color a little bit in the background, but it's just showing you the temperature gradient for Wednesday over towards Thursday. For example, Manila at 30, Hong Kong at 24, Seoul at 2. Here on a Thursday for the high, we're still seeing showers across parts of Malaysia and into Guam. Yeah, if you're in a big city or a city that I don't have on here, let me know. I'm thinking about putting Beijing, maybe Nagasaki, a couple gaps in there. So let me know what you think about that. Just worked on that graphic today, and I always like to hear you guys' feedback on things like that. So yeah, cheers. And number one thing, as always, though, is please stay safe out there, friends. Hope you're having a good day wherever you are.